Okay, so this is the tech streams here, and I'm gonna do the first tutorial on Java. And first of all, you'll need to get this program called NetBeans, which is free. And you'll also need something called JDK 6 Update 29 or JDK 7 also works. But this bundle works great. So you want to search on Google JDK 6 Update 29 with NetBeans, or just NetBeans JDK bundle. Any of that should come up with this. And then you can download for Windows or Linux, Solaris. But I don't think there's Mac for this. But most of you guys should have PCs. If not, you will have to search for another program. Now, this one is free, some are not. Now, after you do download this and you accept the license agreement, after you run NetBeans is what you'll have. You'll need to go here and create a new package. And then after you make that package, you'll have your packages here. And here's my package, and then you'll make a new class. Each class will be .java file. Once you make it, you'll probably have like an author and thing right here. And I already took that off, but you'll have everything right here. Now, all you need to be able to start is this right here, public class, and then you'll also need for basics, you'll need I'll show you in a sec. Okay, so yeah, you this is what you need. It's called the main because right here this is your this string. It starts the class this public static void main. This means that this is under the main this is under main because you can have a different public static which is a different method, but we're calling the main method. You don't need to know that yet, but you just need to start to make a method, you need to use the main method. Um, so whenever you're gonna start a new file for now, what you need is the package on top, and it'll do it for you, so don't worry. And then it'll also do the public class for you, um, and if the public static void main doesn't show up, this part, this line. You can copy that from my screen. It's really easy. Um, and then once you have that, don't worry about that. You'll have to copy and paste that for every single lesson. Okay? Things that you need to know. Okay. So using NetBeans, before we get into Java, let me explain really quickly how to use Java and use NetBeans. So double click on here, makes it bigger, you know. Here are your files. You can move these around right here like that. Okay, I didn't move it there. You can move them around. They're like tabs. You can close tabs. And here's your Java file. Now, if you write something that's syntax, it'll underline in red. Most lines will be ended in a semicolon. And we'll start today by learning how to write a sentence or just print something out. So you'll put system.out.print and you can put your whatever you want. And to start a string or words string, whatever you want to call it, string obviously, you put quotation marks. Just press it once and it'll come up twice. Put in whatever you want. You can put like hello world, right? And then you put the semicolon at the end. Another thing that okay, so I'm going to show you the right now for this tutorial, the most important, this is the first thing you should learn is how to print a string. So hello world, this is the classic string that you would print. So once you put print, that what it'll do if you press Shift F6, it'll run your program. So let it run. Okay. So right here it says hello world. Now, if you want to learn how to print a line, so okay, when you put okay, there's a difference between print and print line. Print line puts an enter after the string. So if I print another line under it, it'll come up under, not next to it. So I can just put print, and I keep saying args because it's trying to call this variable, but we don't need that obviously. I'm not printing that variable. Now you can print another thing. Now later when we get into more detail, you can print variables that are strings or variables that are integers or doubles. Now we'll get into let's say hi, for example, and then we put that. That will come under hello world, and as you can see right here, it came up under. Now, if we take this away, it will come right next to it, and it won't have a space because I did not put a space. Okay, so that's what happens when you don't put print line. A quick thing to put spaces is you just put a plus sign, or you don't even need a plus sign because we're not doing anything, but just put a space in here. That would make a space, or you could also do what I was about to say is you can put a plus sign, space right there. Either or works, and it makes a space right in between here. Now, that's all for today. I'll make a more today, but that's the first tutorial. This is the first thing you need to learn. From there, you start learning. I'll be teaching the variables, and then we'll get into loops, different types of loops, booleans, all types of stuff. So, just rate, comment, subscribe, share this with everyone, and I'll make more Java tutorials. If I know that you guys like them and I get views, I'll make more and more. So that's the end of the tutorial. Uh, so please subscribe. Okay, so I'm gonna make another tutorial really quickly, and today in this tutorial we'll be learning integers and strings. We will also learn double, which is includes decimals, not only just integers like the integer. And also about integers is you must know that integers can only go up to a certain number and they cannot print higher. It only stores, I believe, 8 bytes of memory. I think that's actually 4 bytes. I'm not exactly sure, but if you need to print out a number, you first put int for integer, and this is going to be a whole number because it's an integer, of course. You name it. You can name it anything. You can capitalize and put equals 1, for example. You can capitalize. You can put um, numbers for your variable. You can okay, one thing you can't do is you can't put numbers first before the variable. You can definitely put letters in any way. You can't put percentage sign. You can put a money sign though. So numbers, characters, oh, and underscores. So we'll name this integer I. I equals 1, right? And I will also make a double, which I'll explain in a second, equals, and then we can make it the 3.6. Now, make sure you, oh, I forgot, double, double, Z, for example. And another thing you should know is that, you should never, put an integer, a decimal, because if you, I mean, you could, but the thing is that if you put a decimal like this as integer, it'll print the number, it'll round down. So it'll go from 3.6, it'll round down to 3. 3.9 round down to 3. No matter what it is, if it's not 4, it's not going to be 4. So it always rounds down. We'll get into those functions later, like there's functions called like math dot something, so you can put like math dot floor, and that's kind of like the same thing as what the int does. So we put double int, and Now I'm gonna show you string. String must be capitalized, and you can name that also whatever you want. Can't be the same, obviously. And in parentheses, not in parentheses. I mean in quotation marks, you put in your string. So hello, classic, right? Okay. Now you always finish a line using a semicolon, so don't forget that. And we can print. I forgot to. My bad. System. Obviously, the only way to print things so far from what we've talked about is through print and print line. So we're going to do print line I plus, and then we can put Z plus X, and that will print out all three, and of course put a semicolon at the end. And we're going to put spaces. So I showed you guys how you can put spaces. So just put a space right there. Make sure you don't forget to put a plus sign between these. You need a plus sign between each. Okay, there we go. So now we have space between each. It'll run and it'll put 1, 3.6, and 6. Now I'm going to show you what happens when you put a decimal in here. Run anyway, because you're not supposed to do that. Okay, actually didn't work. But if in a function it comes up with a decimal on your integer, it will print out the number below it. So it'll round down. Um, this is the end of this tutorial. Next time um, I'll go over some functions with like dividing, multiplying. The other thing I wanted to show you before I end this is you can um, you can state a variable or in like in any a variable that could be an integer, double, or string, or any type of variable. You can state it however you want without giving it a value. So I can put, I don't know why I put in x, in y, for example, and I don't have to put anything else, and then later I can put y equals 4, and then I can put that down here instead of the I, and then right here comes out 4. So that's one thing you can do, and another thing is you can put also S like that, and not only does it initialize 1, but now it initializes it states more than 1. So if I put this 3 and I change this to S, there we go. So you can do that with double as well. You can just go over here, double. And one thing about double is that it always puts point .0. It's not really nice. I don't like double. If you don't want to, you don't have to use it. And um, just so I can show you guys really quickly, because this is so that you guys know what would happen if you do things, if you don't know that if you put a number that's too high. If you put we're gonna print out I again, and we put a number that it can't carry, which is I think that's 3, 6. Okay, that's 9. So that's 100 million. We print that. What happens? Still prints it. Okay, now let's put another 0. Still printing. Now another 0. And it'll say run anyway. It doesn't let you because it can't carry that many in a variable. You can't I mean that integers can't carry such a large number because it only takes up 4 bytes, and in a byte there's 8 bits. So multiply that by 4, that's 32 bits. That means this is like printing binary would be zeros. It could be zeros and ones, 32. 32 digits, which isn't long enough to print out the number I had before. Um, so what happens is that it could sometimes what it does, it prints out -2 something, the highest number. Sometimes it prints out the highest number, sometimes it gives you an error. Um, so you don't want to do that, and with double it's the same thing. If you print out way too much, double can carry more, by the way. It's gonna give me an error. It's not gonna let me do it. too large, see? So you don't want to do that as well. As for string, you can do whatever you want. That can carry a lot. That can go forever. And another thing before I'm done, I can show you char, which you probably won't use. Its characters. Actually, never use this. I meant, oh yeah, there we go. Char. Now, I never use char, but you can. And oh, unclosed character, literal. I don't know. I never used char. I don't know what this is saying. Maybe I have to do it like that. I don't remember. I don't remember how to do this. No. Well, char, what it is if you want to do a char. Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. I forgot. Why would I do that? Okay, look. Char, what char is, it only prints out one character, so it can only hold one character and nothing more. And instead of quotation marks, you use the the little symbol that you put. I don't know the one the one the one line symbol inside inside the words. You know what? Whatever you call that, you put the little line there and it prints it out. It I don't believe it works with quotation marks. Yeah, it doesn't. So what you want to do is you just want to put the little lines. I don't even know. Like the ones that you put in like in when you're writing it's or whatever. Okay, that does it. Okay, but you just want to put that. Sorry, this I said this that it's pretty much over. I said that this tutorial is pretty much over, but I had to show you a few things before I ended this. And I'm sorry I've I've kind of stuttered on this tutorial, but it's because I really there's things I don't remember. Things like the integer value, how much it can hold, I don't remember, and I don't use char, so it took me a while to remember exactly how to put that together. I don't edit these videos, so I mean, bear with me, you know. So that's the end of this tutorial. Next time we'll go over the math functions. And that's pretty much it. Alright, so next time, please rate, comment, and subscribe, guys. I need that support. Share. Share the video.
Alright, so here I am in Eclipse. I have created a project called Example and added a class file to it, also called Example. You'll notice my file name is example.java and my class name over here is example as well. Those two names do have to match for this to work, and they will automatically. Should you need to rename something later, you can always come over here and select the file and hit F2, and it'll let you rename. So let's say I wanted to give this my name, header example, and I wanted to update the references, and I'll say finish, and it will update everything for me. If you do that yourself, just right here changing the name, it'll cause problems for you, so don't do that. Okay, so every single program that you write is going to have this main method in it, and it looks like this: public static void main string args, and it has a set of curly brackets. You'll notice that now I've got two sets of curly brackets going here. I've got the one that starts the class and one that closes it, and then I've got the one that starts the main method and one that closes it. The majority of the code that you type is going to be inside here. What this main method means is, for the computer, when you execute your program, it looks for that main method and it knows to start executing the code that you've written inside of it, and it will execute it sequentially. So let's have this program do something. I want it to print to the screen. So here's what that looks like. System.out.print. Let's have it say hello. All right. When I want to run this and see what happens, I right-click anywhere on my code, and I say Run as Java Application. Say OK, and down here in the console window, it'll show me my output to the screen. Okay, you may notice this line ends with a semicolon. Well, this line is called a statement, and any statement you write will end with a semicolon. It's sort of like the way you end a sentence with a period in English. Now, I can write as many of these system.out.prints as I want, and it will execute them in the order in which I write them. So let's have it right there to end my message. Let's see what happens if I try to execute this again. Right-click, Run as Java Application, OK. Oh, look, it put the output from the second print statement directly next to the output from the first one. If I use system.out.print, it leaves the cursor off exactly at the end of the word, which is sometimes what I want and sometimes not. If I don't want that to happen, if I would like it to drop down to the next line after it's printed, I can change this command to print ln, which is short for line. Now if I've got print ln and I run this again, you'll notice after it printed the hello, it dropped the cursor down to the next line, and then when I printed the there, it appeared on that line afterwards, so they're no longer squished together. So these two lines I've printed so far have just printed exactly what I've typed, and you'll notice that I surrounded what I typed inside quotation marks. Anytime you surround something in quotation marks like this, it's called a string literal. But I don't have to do that. I can actually have Java perform some math for me. So let's see what happens if I just have it, let's say multiply two numbers. Let's have it multiply 3 times 10. And let me run this and see what happens. Check it out. It did the math for me. So it has come up with 30. I can also combine these two things so that it prints a label and it prints out some math on the screen. So I can have it print something like 3 times 10 equals, let's see what happens if I run this. 3 times 10 equals 30. So here's what we have to point out. Inside the quotes is actually the problem written out, right? 3 times 10 equals. If I put quotes around something, it prints exactly that thing on the console window. Okay? If I don't surround something with quotes, and this is only true of numbers, it will do the math and give me out the answer, which is the 30. If I have more than one, I'm going to call them pieces that I want to tack together. So I want to tack this piece and this piece out on the screen together. Then I put this plus sign in between them, and it does this thing called concatenation, which just means stick two things together, and then I can output both of them on the same line and get the output that I have here.